My video is all about recovery from either addiction to substance or behaviour. My substance, alcohol; my behaviour, trying to be perfect, never so, working hard for 35 years, 2 careers, careering all over the place and finally breaking down, and then eventually some years later unable to stop drinking. What's different today? I don't drink a day at a time. That's the simple bottom line. And life can happen. Life can happen as it is, without putting a filter or a drug inside me to ameliorate my feelings or the world, or trying to make it my way. How do I do this? Well, simply I go to a fellowship to help me get support to do self-healing. And it was in one of the books of this fellowship, Alcoholics Anonymous, which gave me the clue that it was a self-help path of recovery, with the, I suppose, support of all sorts of people from all walks of life who can make life work simply one day at a time without a drink inside them. And the best way to describe what is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is to share the preamble, which is shared at every meeting I go to. And I don't speak for AA, I just speak for me, but AA is just integral to making my life work. And more on what's happening in my life in a minute. But the preamble says, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, and also, I guess, help friends out when things are going a bit awry. And I was rung up at 4 in the morning, and somebody I know in hospital with a broken arm and needing a bit of help and support. So that done, I'm pretty knackered right now, and I also had reason to be at the hospital yesterday for my checkup on type 1 diabetes and clinical depression. So in recovery, the gift, if you like, of living longer is that we are susceptible to all the normal things that other people may have to experience as well, like diabetes. I'm insulin dependent, and I'm in a regime of change with that and the medications for clinical depression and pain relief. So what was fairly normal is, or has been, abnormal. Coming off all these medications and then restarting on something which is more appropriate to my situation and lifestyle. Yeah, well, it's bloody rough, I'll tell you. And you know, my head can go in either direction, up or down, mood swings and aches and pains, and really very bad pains, not just in the feet where I thought neuropathy existed, but all over. And having had this consultation yesterday, which went on for an hour or so, I was gratified to find that, you know, these other things going on inside me, the pains, are not unusual for people with type 1 diabetes. It's just a question of finding the right way to help a person keep things on a manageable level. So I'm very fortunate and very lucky that I have a hospital very close, and also when people ring me up I don't have that far to go to be supportive, even though they've now been sent off to another hospital and then sent home for a day and then replastering tomorrow, or plastering tomorrow. Life is tough sometimes, but you know, I'm glad I'm in the game of life. What makes it possible? AA and the fellowship. And I did get to a meeting last night, and I heard an extraordinary share of experience, strength and hope about how living in the problem of drink and then being able to find the solution to living a day at a time sober was so ably illustrated. And there were plenty of people in there I knew sharing their experience, strength and hope, which gives me the wisdom to keep on going a day at a time. And I've been going to meetings regularly this week, and a friend of mine did a chair a couple of days ago, and they chose and asked me to read a bit out of the big book of AA, which I'll share now if that's all right. Yes, it is, because I'm doing it. And switch off if you're bored, or not, as the case may be. Anyway, this comes from chapter 3, more about alcoholism, and this month is all about step 2, which I'll talk about if I have the time. More about alcoholism, page 30 in the 4th edition. It goes like this. We are like men who have lost their legs. They never grow new ones, neither does there appear to be any kind of treatment which will make alcoholics of our kind like other men. We have tried every imaginable remedy. In some instances there has been brief recovery, followed always by a still worse relapse. Physicians who are familiar with alcoholism agree there is no such thing as making a normal drinker out of an alcoholic. Science may one day accomplish this, but it hasn't done so yet, and that's my belief anyway. Despite all we can say, many who are real alcoholics are not going to believe they are in that class. By every form of self-deception and experimentation, they will try to prove themselves exceptions to the rule, therefore non-alcoholic. If anyone who is showing inability to control his drinking can do the right-about face and drink like a gentleman, our hats are off to him. Heaven knows we have tried hard enough and long enough to drink like other people. Yeah, I tried. Here are some of the methods we have tried. Drinking beer only, limiting the number of drinks, never drinking alone, never drinking in the morning, drinking only at home, never having it in the house, never drinking during business hours, drinking only at parties, switching from scotch to brandy, drinking only natural wines, agreeing to resign if ever drunk on the job, taking a trip, not taking a trip, swearing off forever, with and without a solemn oath, taking more physical exercise, reading inspirational books, going to health farms and sanitariums, accepting voluntary commitment to asylums. We could increase the list ad infinitum. And, then share all about their struggle from being a street drinker in the end to somebody who is in higher education and will end up with an MBA from a university. And, they are 30 years younger than me. No, not quite, but nearly 30 years younger than me. And they started very early, and fortunately they found the program of AA very soon. So AA's big book, that's the real text which talks about where the experience, strength and hope has been found. And step 2, second month of the year, 12 steps of action in recovery, reads, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So the step 2 part is coming to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, and simply on a daily basis, of course. And it reads, what can we believe in? AA does not demand belief. 12 steps are only suggestions. Importance of an open mind, variety of ways to faith, substitution of AA as a higher power, plight of the disillusioned, roadblocks of indifference and prejudice, lost faith found in AA, problems of intellectuality and self-sufficiency, and that was me. Negative and positive thinking, that was me. Self-righteousness, no doubt me. Defiance, an outstanding characteristic of alcoholics, certainly of me. Step 2 is a rallying point to sanity, right relation to God, or in my case, I understand God to be good conscience, God is truth, God works through people, God is love. So mine's a very practical one, and I don't know that I've ever really considered one lying on a cloud with a huge beard, administering whatever to whoever. So that's the step 2, came to believe a higher power could restore us to sanity, and AA and my understanding of God, of my understanding, we need not actually push our own understanding onto anybody else. It's working for me on a daily basis. Daily reflections for today. I am not different. In the beginning, it was four whole years before AA brought permanent sobriety to even one alcoholic woman. Like the high bottoms, the women said they were different. The skid rower said he was different. So did artists and professional people, the rich, the poor, the religious, the agnostic, the Indians and the Eskimos, the veterans and the prisoners. Nowadays all of these, and legions more, soberly talk about how very much alike all of us alcoholics are when we admit that the chips are finally down and that we cannot drink anymore, not safely. And that comes from As Bill Sees It, page 24. Haven't quite got there yet. I cannot consider myself different in AA. If I do, I isolate myself from others and from contact with my higher power. If I feel isolated in AA, it is not something for which others are responsible. It is something I've created by feeling I'm different in some way. Today I practice being just another alcoholic in the worldwide fellowship of AA, or Alcoholics Anonymous, and the gift of that is we have this one similarity, and the rest, I feel, remains unique and authentic.